every hour, Aran came in sight. A dreary rock appeared at first, sloping up from the sea into the fog. Then as we came nearer, the Coast Guard station and the village. After we disembarked, I was wandering out along the one good roadway of the island, looking over low walls on either side, into small, flat fields of naked rock. I have seen nothing so desolate. Grey floods of water were sweeping everywhere upon the limestone, making a swirling pool of the road that twines continually over low hills and through cavities in the rock, or at times passes among narrow fields with potatoes or grass, hidden away in corners that had shelter. Whenever the cloud lifted, I could see the edge of the sea below me on the right, and the naked ridge of the island above me on the other side. Occasionally, I passed a lonely chapel or a schoolhouse, or a line of stone pillars with crosses above them, bearing an inscription, asking a prayer for the name of the person they commemorated. There were two farmers in the County Clare. One had a son, and the other a fine, rich man had a daughter. And the young man was wishing to marry the girl, and his father told him to try and get her, if he thought well, but it would be a power of money he'd be wanting to get the likes of her. I will try it, said the young man. So he put all his gold into a bag, and he went over to the other farm, and he threw in the gold in front of him. Is that all gold? Said the father of the young woman. All gold, said O'Connor, for O'Connor was the young man's name. It will not weigh down my daughter. We'll see, says O'Connor. So they got the weighing scales, and they put the daughter on one side and the gold on the other, and the girl went down and hit the ground. Then O'Connor took his bag and went out on the road. And as he was going along, he came to a spot where there was a little man, and he standing with his back to the wall. Where are you going with the bag? He said. I'm going home, said O'Connor. Is it gold you might be wanting? Said the little man. It is surely, said O'Connor. Well, I'll give you what you're wanting, and we'll bargain it this way. You'll give me in a year the gold I give you, or you'll pay me £5 cut off your own flesh. The bargain was made between them. O'Connor went back with the gold and was married to the young woman. When night came, the Lady O'Connor went up into her room, and the captain could see her through a little hole in the box, and he saw her taking off her 2 rings and putting them on a little piece of board above her head like a chimney piece, and then taking off her clothes, except her shift, and going up into her bed. When the Lady O'Connor was asleep, the captain came up out of the box and he had some means of lighting a light, for he lit a candle, and he went over to where the Lady O'Connor was sleeping without touching her or doing any bad thing, and he took the 2 rings off the side plate, blew out the candle, and went down again into the box. At a sign from the sheriff, the work of carrying out the beds and the utensils was begun. In the middle of a crowd of natives who stood on in absolute silence, broken only by the wild imprecations of the woman of the house. She was from one of the most primitive families on the island, and she shook with an uncontrollable fury as she saw these strange armed men who spoke a language she could not understand, driving her from the hearth that she had brooded on for 30 years. For these people, the outrage to the hearth is the supreme catastrophe. They live here in a world of grey, where there are wild rains and mists every week of the year. But they're warm chimney corners, filled with young children and girls, grows into the consciousness of every family in a way that is not easy to understand in more civilized places. The outrage to the tomb in China gives no less a shock to the Chinese than the outrage to the heart in Inishmaan gives to these people.